What's up, people? Today I wanted to talk about a certain topic that's been not only controversial recently, but always has been within our faith, and that is the topic of homosexuality. Now, first off, from a biblical standpoint, from where I believe, yes, it is wrong. The evidence for that is all throughout the Bible for us, in Romans and 2 Corinthians and Leviticus and all these other places. You can look it up in concordance. But what I wanted to talk about today, I wanted to talk to you, the believers. One thing that has disappointed me to no end, and that saddened me, is not only this state of how homosexuality is now just tolerated as just okay, but how we as Christians are going about handling the situation. I've watched it on Facebook, I have heard it on the radio, I've heard it on the news, endless posts after endless posts after endless posts. Basically, believers putting down homosexuals, showing animosity towards them, being hostile towards them. You know, this is kind of the part where Jesus would say, "You hypocrites, you're suffering. We're all suffering with something, some kind of sin. We all have our flaws that we're going through. How would you like it if it was basically just pointed out in your face constantly?" Without love, by the way, because we are not showing love to them. The Bible tells us to show love to them. Jesus, his life, he came to many sinners. That was his life. He was among people like us all his life, sinners, people that needed him. Just like the homosexuality community needs him, just like we need him. And here we are, condemning our own brothers and sisters, condemning God's creation, when we ourselves are flawed as well. Take the beam out of your own eye, and you'll see well enough to help your neighbor. Did Jesus not say that? He did. I don't say all this out of spite. I say it out of love. We need to grow up. We all are going through something, some kind of sin, some kind of trouble. Rely on God. Focus on that. How dare we, when we're going through sins of our own, look at somebody else and say, "Well, you're just the worst sinner of them all." How dare we do that? It's pathetic. And it's time for a change. We're supposed to be wise as serpents and gentle as doves. Not gentle as serpents. For real. It's a disappointing thing to see. Is homosexuality wrong? Absolutely. Are we going about it the right way? Absolutely not. We're supposed to be a beacon for the lost, okay? We're supposed to be a beacon for those in the world that need Christ, that need God. And all the while, we're being hostile towards them. Truth is truth. People aren't going to like me for stating it and for making this video, but truth is truth. I'm a believer myself, saved by God's grace. We all are. And that same grace, it's the grace that can save them if we would humble ourselves, pray for them, and be loving towards them. Honestly. That's what God has asked of us. You ask, "Well, what should I do?" You witness to them, and you pray. Continuously, earnestly, and from the heart. That's what you do. But by no means do you show hostility towards them. I've had friends that have dealt with the issue of homosexuality. And yes, I'm opinionated about it in the fact that I do believe it's wrong, and it is. Scripturally. And by God's standard, it is wrong. There's no getting around that. There's no gray areas. It's wrong. But look at how we're going about treating the situation. Look at how we're going about treating these people. Going through this. When at the same time, other sins such as lust, lying, greed, gluttony, it's a daily thing for us. Is it not? I'm not saying don't be nonchalant about it, because we all sin. I'm just saying, show some love. Love others as you would want to be loved, as Christ loved us. Stop badgering, stop being hostile. It's one thing to reproach someone with a gentle spirit. It is another thing to be hostile and to show animosity. And that's exactly what culture's doing right now. At least in Alabama, from what I've seen. We need to wake up. Pray. God, make us humble. Help us to deal with our own sins before we go condemning others. That should be our heart's need. That's all I'm going to say on this situation. But that's my stand. I'm not leaving it. Some people will consider me a traitor for saying this, but whatever. I'm just stating the obvious, and that is that Jesus loved each and every one of us while we were sinners. And by God's grace, we were saved. Each of us. And that grace is not bound. That's all I'm going to leave you with.